All right. Is the Trump trade over already? Some stocks are up a hell of a lot, and maybe it's time for you to consider what your goals are. If your goal is to make money, short term, long term, well, we'll talk about that. Yeah, I know your goal is to make money, but there's more to it than that. Couple of personal finance things to keep in mind before the end of the year. And these are based on real conversations that I have with real people every day. So here we go. I'm going to roll the intro, stick around. We'll be on and off, and we're going to share. I'm going to give you some really valuable information. So please stick around. Here's the intro, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you so much. I was just thinking how on August August 2nd, remember this? Stock market tanks, Dow down 881 points. Do you remember that day? That was the day we had this weird yen carry trade, fell apart hedge funds. Some of them blew up and had to sell stocks. And everybody said, this is it. And there were these people on, I gotta say, on CNBC saying, oh, this isn't over yet. We're going to have more ramifications because we're just getting started to see which hedge funds violated covenants and are not meeting financial requirements and ran out of equity and are overly leveraged, and it's going to continue blowing up and keep a lid in the market, and inflation is going to be here and all kinds of problems. And like I said on that day when I made that live stream, I said nobody's going to remember this in a couple of months. Nobody. And you know what? Everybody forgot about it already. The only reason I'm thinking about it is because I could see the thumbnail picture on my screen here, and I'm like, yeah, that was weird. That was a long time ago. So this is the kind of thing that we want to help you avoid, these weird news events that just happen out of the blue that pass without any trace of even a footprint. So let's be careful, and let's realize that usually a scary headline is something that's going to pass pretty quickly. So, all right. Is the Trump trade over already? What do you think? If you're watching this, whether in the replay or the live stream, comment below. Give us a thumbs up while you're watching this. It helps spread the news, the good word that good word of the show here, and the rest of your contacts and social media would see that. So give us a thumbs up. I see some people are watching it out there, and I thank you. So thumbs up. Ask me a question if you have any questions in the comments, or just say hello. I love hearing from you. Is the Trump trade over? Okay, so first of all, the Trump trade was a big surprise. The Dow, the day after the election, went up 1,400 points. The major averages spiked upward and then kept running up. And we had some record closes yesterday. Dow hit 44,000 for the first time yesterday. So is it too much too soon? Listen, some stocks are going to keep marching higher. Some stocks have already lost momentum, and some stocks that had an initial pop are already lower than before the election. And if you're an individual stock investor, this may or may not matter to you. If your time horizon was to sell what you needed to sell to pay for your financial obligations today, like if you had to sell stocks today was your deadline, you're probably wondering if you did the right thing to stick around or not. You're probably wondering why you didn't sell what you needed to sell a year ago or 2 years ago. Because remember, for me, if you're an investor and you need money from your investment accounts to pay for something, that money should be raised well in advance, not trying to time it to see if we're going to have a good market and not taking the risk that we could have a bad market. Now, a good market and bad market is relative. If you're telling me we have a week to invest and the market goes down, then it was a bad market. If you're telling me we've got 20 or 30 years ahead of us, then who cares what the market's doing? I mean, you've got nothing but time. So this is why I don't like snap decisions. Let's talk about the when you turn 26 with the Affordable Care Act, you have to get off your parents' health insurance and onto your. And I just had this conversation with a new client's daughter, and um, she's turning 26 this summer. She needs to be off her parents' health insurance. Now, in the state of New York, there's other states this applies to also, but I just remember specifically New York that you could stay in your parents' health insurance until you're 29 if your employer does not offer an employer-based health insurance plan. But if your employer does, then you have to get the heck off your parents' insurance and get your own. And you need to do this quickly. Don't wait till you have no insurance and you have a problem. Now you're like, oh, I'm going to pay for this. I didn't have insurance. I didn't have a chance to do it yet. It's too bad. You have to do it in advance. Or another thing I don't like is meeting somebody who is starting out as a new teacher in a school district, and the 401k service providers, or say the 403b service providers, spoke to the new people, the new teachers, the young people, and I look at some of the at one of these people. They showed me what they're doing. They're in annuities. Now, I'm having a really tough time trying to understand why a 25-year-old or a 26-year-old would be in an annuity with the costs associated. Yeah, there's some guarantees. You don't lose, but when you're 25 years old, you don't have to worry about these guarantees. You have nothing but time. I could see if you're like 55, you want to start shifting some money around. That's one thing. But, to me, 25 in a retirement plan, low cost, index funds, I think are all you need. I don't think you need to get fancy with it. And the new client sat in front of me who told me about this. She said, well, the guy from the insurance companies handling the 403b plan said, well, this is what most people are doing, so do this. See, I hate that advice. Let's do what most people are doing. How about let's do what is right specifically for your financial goals, for your personal finance? Because if I'm looking at someone 25 years old, I want them in stocks. I want them in upside. I am more than willing to take downside because it's important that they do this. But it could prevent your account from going down too much because there could be some collars in it. When you're young, a down market is your friend. When you're just starting out, you're a new investor, a down market is your friend. Remember that. We're kind of like fighting a battle here between people 55 and over who don't want to see the stock market go down, and people under 40 who would actually benefit from a down stock market. They benefit because they would get more shares for the same amount of money that they put into the retirement plan every pay period. So let's not get into this. Well, everyone else is doing this, so this would be good advice for you. I think that is the most awful thing that I've ever heard, because everyone else is doing it, or most people do this. It's not why we should do this. All right. Let's talk about a couple of other things. I'm going to go. Health. I know it kind of sounds funny, but I talk to my clients about health all the time. And it's an important topic to me and something I enjoy talking about. So it does come up. But what really it's one of your assets. Most people who retire, let's say young, before the age of 60, are not retiring because they have a lot of money. They're retiring because of health problems, because they can't work anymore. I know lots of people are making a lot of money past the age of 65. They're working into their late 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they can easily afford to retire. They work because they enjoy it. They get a lot of satisfaction out of it. It gives them a mission, a purpose in life. And they're not doing work that's so backbreaking that they can't keep doing it, okay? But people who can't work, who start working before 60, are usually people who have a health issue. Your best asset is your health, because if you can't work till at least the age of 70, considering that people are living longer, you may be shortchanging your retirement substantially. Now, I know what you're saying, but I have to live too. Nobody said you can't take vacations and do nice things when you're in your 60s and 70s. But the fact is, the best insulation against running out of money in retirement is working longer. It's a funny thing, the definition of retirement. You could ask 100 people what retirement means to them. You'll get generic things like, yeah, more travel, more time to relax, more time with friends and family. But outside of that, you get very different definitions of what retirement means. Don't be caught up into what somebody else's definition means for retirement. Your health, your retirement depends on your health. So that's really about it today. We were advising against making sudden, abrupt changes in your investments. There are plenty of stocks that have given up the ghost since the election, and plenty more probably will. It's hard to say if the market is overvalued or undervalued because we think long term. So I really don't like to get caught up in that debate. But if you have money that you are going to need from your brokerage accounts or your 401k or your IRA over the next year or two, you're best off selling well in advance than waiting to the last minute because the market could go down. That is all I'm saying, and that is it for today. Man, oh man, I'm tired. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching again. Ask your questions in the comments. I love hearing from you. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.